as you can tell if you've looked at my blog, which is connected with each of these videos, it's right in the description. It'll give an address, just click on it and you'll go to the blog where all of the best places to eat, in my opinion, are listed. And my criteria is that the food has to be great, the prices have to be moderate, the service has to be friendly, the decor has to be attractive, and it has to be owned by a family that I want to see the guy who is cooking the food, or the family that's cooking the food. They care about their customers. They're not just dollar bills to them, Back when I was a young guy, I worked for an Italian family who ran a big restaurant, and they cared about their customers, and they would talk to them, that they would listen to them, whatever it happened to be, is that they cared about their customers. And I think when you have restaurants that are like that, what you get is you get better food and you get better service. I like the smaller restaurants. I think you have a better chance of just having a totally fantastic meal, not only in the meal itself, but in the total surroundings, and we can call it the soul of the family. That's what I like to say. There's something about the family that's genuine, that's honest, that is uplifting, that wants to share their meals with you. That's the greatest thing, is to share meals with somebody, and that's the kind of attitude that I like to see in the restaurants that I go to, and all of them really have it. It's kind of hidden in a few of the larger ones. I don't go to many of them, but when they're very good and I can sneak in there for my price range, I do. But in terms of family-owned restaurants, there's none that I like better than Valenti's in Venice. And I know that some of my restaurants are up in Palmetto, or they're in up in St. Pete, and here is Valenti's is in Venice, and people here are so old and crotchety in Sarasota. It's a shame. We couldn't drive there. That's 30 miles away or 20 miles away, but the experience is worth it. Think of it as a pilgrimage. When you go to Mazzaro's in St. Pete, or you go to the Crab Trap in Ellenton on Palmetto on Route 19 before the bridge, you're going to places that have been in existence for 30 or 40 years, and the food is never bad. It's always great, and the people who are running it are terrific. That has to say something, and that's true for Valenti's too. I bumped into them about 15 years ago when I was working with some kids. I ran a program at one time that helped at-risk kids express their deeper emotions through poetry. And I happened to be in that neighborhood, and I saw an Italian restaurant, Valenti's, what is this? I went in there. And the owner, one of the owners that's owned by Santos and Nella Valente. Nella is about 5'1" or 5'2". She's full of energy, she's full of life, she does all of the baking, all of the cookies, the cakes. She is the engine and the heart that runs this restaurant, and her husband works there, her sisters work there, her sons work there. She spun off a new restaurant about a mile away on the same avenue. It's a little bit more upscale, if you want to think of it that way, a little bit more for the younger crowd, although younger crowd fits in very well at the original, at the flagship. And they have a room in the back that I like to call a mafia room. I shouldn't say that, Nella will be all over me. But it's done in the kind of beautiful draperies and couches and easy chairs. There's a nice bar there. It's just so comfortable and calming to go back there and to sit down, as is the entire restaurant. She has little angels up on the ceiling, and the place is filled with flowers. It's just filled with the soul of a person, and she is the soul of that particular restaurant. She's always busy, so she's hard to track down. But if you have a chance, ask if she's there for Nella, and just say hi, and that you saw this little video on her restaurants by Justin at Soulspeak. I mean, she knows me because she happened to catch one of my videos on the educational channel. She's an artistic person herself, although it's kind of hidden. And she says, we need more of that. We need more of that in the world, And there's a woman who's working 18 hours a day in the kitchen and cooking and, all that stuff. But I was so happy to see when I went down to her new restaurant, which she's getting off the ground, is that she's decided to sing all of the Italian folk songs from her youth in Sicily. So I decided to do that. You know, she's so cute. And so she goes out there with the band and they play and she sings all these songs. She's not a performer or a singer. She's just a genuinely bright soul, you know. And I'm sure that the people who are dining out there during the summer and the springtime when she goes out in the evening, you know, to give them a little belt from the old country, you can't beat that, you know, with a good meal and singing from somebody who's just like you, who just wants you to have a great time and wants to share her food and her experiences with you. You can't go wrong with Nella. The Italian food is the best, no matter what you order. They have a broccoli rabe there, if you know what that is. That's a kind of sauteed broccoli and garlic, which is you can kill for. It is simply the best. And they have a veal parmesan hero that myself and my buddies go down for. It is, I mean, you just can't beat it, you know. It's just cooked to perfection. It's not drowned in sauce, you know, as you say. It's right there. All of the veal dishes are great. The pastries are great. You know, she's cooking all the time, this woman. I don't know when she finds time to run 2 restaurants, but she's busy. The cannolis are great, you know, so, and the service is wonderful. You'll find that her kids are just like her. They have that same bright kind of radiance, you know, that is so wonderful. So if you're in Sarasota and you're thinking, I want a good Italian meal, and there really aren't any good Italian restaurants per se that I think are good on this scale. They have a family cooking. They have a broad range of dishes. It's not hyped up. You know, it's what you'd get in Sicily, basically, and it's done by a family, and the prices are reasonable. Get your tailing gear and get in a car and take the 15 or 20 minutes to get down to Venice Avenue, and you can go to the blog that's associated with this and go into MapQuest. It's an automatic link. It'll show you how to get there from your house, and once you're there, you know how to get back and how really quick it is to get there. So number one on my list when I go for Italian food, both for the ambience and the friendliness and the wide variety of food, just makes me feel good when I go in. It makes me feel when I'm eating the food. It makes me feel great when I leave. It's just a terrific place. So I hope you make it there. They're in the process of getting up a web page. You know, it's like a lot of these restaurants, you know, they're just so well known, they don't bother with a web page, but they realize they have to get one up sooner or later, so they're in the process of bringing one up. But there are some like the Crab Trap up in Palmetto. I've been there for 30 years. It's jammed day and night, you know. I always go there in the off hours if I can. By that I mean 3 or 4 in the afternoon, okay? And have a late lunch, so to speak, you know, because these places have a reputation that they don't need to advertise. They don't need a web page. The people just flock to them. The same with Mazzero's. They have a web page that's quite big, but they don't really need that to fill that place up. You'll see when you go there. Just the word gets out, and then one guy tells another guy, and it's there. That's the same with Valenti's. You'll see that when you go there in the evenings, especially during the season. All of these places during the season are pretty full. So it's always best to try them for lunch first, you know, a late lunch, 2 or 3, something like that. And then just ask the waitress when's the best night that's not that crowded that you can get in there. Because I hate to wait, you know, that spoils a meal. You have to wait. I can't wait. You know, I want to go there. I want to be welcomed. I want to be sat down. I want to be fed. I want to talk to the owner and the cooks and the waiters, you know, and just have a good kind of family thing. So since these places do get crowded during the season, you want to go there for lunch first and then late lunch, and then you can find out what the best time to go there if you want to go back for an evening meal. Most of them don't take reservations. They don't have to, you know, that they're going to be filled. Well, I think that's it for Valenti's. I hope you go there, and I hope you have a chance to meet Santos too, who's a great guy. He's a very dry sense of humor, but they're a great couple, and their kids are great too, and the food's